The UFC just played Charles Oliveira dirty, and what happened behind closed doors will absolutely infuriate every MMA fan who believes in respect and integrity. While fighters were publicly begging for the chance to face Do Bronx, they were secretly stabbing him in the back when the UFC actually called their bluff. This isn't just cowardice, this is a complete betrayal of everything this sport stands for, and Charles Oliveira is rightfully furious about it. The former lightweight champion was set to headline UFC Rio against Rafael Fiziev on October 11th, giving Brazilian fans the chance to see their hero in action on home soil. But when Fiziev pulled out due to injury, what should have been a simple replacement turned into an absolute nightmare that exposed the fake tough guy personas of multiple fighters in the division. Here's where it gets absolutely disgusting. Fighters like Mateusz Gamrot, Renato Moicano, and Benoit Saint-Denis were all over social media acting like warriors, publicly calling out for the fight and claiming they were ready to step up on short notice. They made it seem like they were doing Oliveira a favor by even considering the matchup. The fans ate it up, praising these guys for their willingness to take on such a dangerous opponent. But the moment the UFC picked up the phone and made it official, these same fighters turned into absolute cowards. Every single one of them found excuses to back out. Suddenly the timing wasn't right. Suddenly they needed a full camp. Suddenly the risk didn't match the reward. The hypocrisy is absolutely sickening. Oliveira didn't hold back his frustration when speaking with MMA Fighting's Guilherme Cruz. He made it crystal clear that this behavior is everything that's wrong with modern MMA. Fighters have become social media warriors who talk a big game online but crumble when it's time to actually sign on the dotted line. What makes this even more infuriating is that Oliveira has never been the type of fighter to duck anyone. Throughout his entire career, he's accepted fights on short notice, stepped up against killers when others wouldn't, and never made excuses when the UFC came calling. This is the same man who fought his way to the lightweight title by consistently facing murderers row in the most competitive division in the sport. For these fighters to disrespect him like this, especially when he was trying to give Brazilian fans an incredible show in Rio, is absolutely unforgivable. Oliveira emphasized that fans don't see what really happens behind the scenes. They see the public callouts and the tough guy posts, but they don't see the panicked phone calls to managers when the UFC actually offers the fight. The Brazilian legend made it clear that this isn't just about one fight, it's about the integrity of the entire sport. When fighters consistently talk big but fail to back it up, they're lying to the fans who support them and pay their hard-earned money to watch them compete. It's false advertising at its worst. Oliveira pointed out that fighting is literally what this business is built on. These aren't Instagram influencers or YouTube personalities, they're supposed to be professional fighters. When someone says they want to fight, they should mean it. When they claim they're ready for anyone, anywhere, anytime, they should be prepared to prove it. The most disgusting part is that these fighters will probably continue posting on social media about how tough they are and how ready they are for big fights. They'll keep building their fake personas while knowing full well that they don't have the courage to back up their words when it matters most. This situation perfectly illustrates why Charles Oliveira is on a completely different level than these pretenders. While others are calculating risks and looking for easy paths to title shots, Oliveira is focused on giving fans the fights they want to see. He understands that his legacy isn't built on social media posts, it's built inside the octagon against the best fighters in the world. Before moving to the next news, we have a quick request for you. We are constantly working to improve our content to earn your love and support. That's why we would truly appreciate it if you could take a moment to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update here on MMA Discuss News. Now, let's talk about something that will blow your mind and put into perspective just how massive combat sports can become when everything aligns perfectly. We're talking about the financial earthquake that was Khabib versus Conor at UFC 229, and how recent events have somehow managed to eclipse even that legendary night. UFC 229 wasn't just a fight, it was a cultural phenomenon that transcended sports. The bad blood between Khabib Nurmagomedov and Conor McGregor had been building for months, reaching a boiling point that had fans around the world picking sides. When fight night finally arrived, the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas was absolutely electric with an energy that veteran observers had never experienced before. Dana White didn't hesitate to call it the biggest night in UFC history, and the numbers backed up that bold claim. The arena was completely sold out, generating an incredible $17 million at the gate. But that was just the beginning of the financial madness. The pay-per-view numbers were absolutely mind-blowing. Nearly 2.4 million people purchased UFC 229, making it one of the most watched events in UFC history. The combination of McGregor's star power and Khabib's undefeated mystique created a perfect storm that captured the attention of casual fans and hardcore enthusiasts alike. But what made that night truly special wasn't just the money, it was the raw emotion and drama that unfolded both inside and outside the octagon. The fight itself was a masterclass in mixed martial arts, with Khabib systematically breaking down McGregor before submitting him in the 4th round. The post-fight chaos that followed, with Khabib jumping into the crowd and his teammates rushing the octagon, created scenes that will be replayed for decades to come. The event proved that when you combine elite-level talent with genuine animosity and masterful promotion, combat sports can reach heights that few other forms of entertainment can match. It wasn't just about two fighters competing, it was about cultures clashing, legacies being defined, and the entire sport of mixed martial arts reaching new levels of mainstream acceptance. Fast forward to more recent times, and something incredible happened that may have actually surpassed the magic of UFC 229. The boxing world turned its attention to Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, where Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford faced off in a spectacle that drew over 70,000 fans and generated numbers that had combat sports insiders doing double takes. According to John Anik, who had the unique privilege of calling both McGregor vs. Khabib and Canelo vs. Crawford, this boxing mega event may have actually eclipsed what many considered the UFC's greatest night. Even Bruce Buffer, the legendary voice of the Octagon, admitted that what happened that night was unlike anything he had ever witnessed in his decades of experience. The atmosphere inside Allegiant Stadium was absolutely electric. Bruce Buffer reflected on the magnitude of the event during a conversation with TJ DeSantis and John Anik, emphasizing just how special that night was for combat sports. With over 70,000 fans creating an atmosphere that few events could match, the energy was palpable from the opening bell to the final decision. What made this even more impressive was the level of production that went into the event. Bruce Buffer shared a fascinating story about his brother, the legendary boxing announcer Michael Buffer, who worked the broadcast that night. According to Bruce, Michael told him that the production team was literally the finest he had ever worked with in his decades-long career. Coming from someone who has been ringside for some of the biggest fights in boxing history, that's an absolutely incredible endorsement. The financial numbers from that night tell their own story and put the event in truly elite company. The gate revenue reached an astronomical $47,231,887. To put that in perspective, that figure represents the 3rd highest gate in boxing history, trailing only the legendary Floyd Mayweather vs. Conor McGregor fight and Mayweather vs. Manny Pacquiao. Those numbers aren't just impressive, they're historic. They represent the kind of financial success that proves combat sports, when done right, can compete with any form of entertainment in the world. The fact that over 70,000 people were willing to pay premium prices to witness history in person demonstrates the incredible drawing power of elite-level combat sports. Beyond the financial success, the night also delivered a defining moment for Terence Crawford, who etched his name into the record books by becoming the undisputed champion in 3 separate weight divisions. That accomplishment alone cemented his place among the greatest fighters of all time and provided the perfect capstone to an already legendary evening. The success of both UFC 229 and the Canelo vs. Crawford event proves something crucial about combat sports. When you combine elite talent, compelling storylines, and world-class production, there's virtually no limit to what these events can achieve. They become more than just fights. They become cultural moments that transcend sports and capture the imagination of millions of people around the world. What's truly remarkable is how both events, despite being in different combat sports, manage to tap into something primal and universal that draws people to competition at its highest level. Whether it's the technical mastery of mixed martial arts or the sweet science of boxing, when the stakes are highest and the best fighters in the world collide, magic happens. These events also highlight the incredible business potential of combat sports when everything aligns perfectly. The combination of star power, genuine competition, and masterful promotion creates a formula that can generate hundreds of millions of dollars and capture global attention in ways that few other sports can match. For fighters like Charles Oliveira, who are trying to build their own legacies and create their own memorable moments, these events serve as inspiration for what's possible when you're willing to step up and face the best competition available. The fighters who consistently seek out the toughest challenges and deliver when the lights are brightest are the ones who create these kinds of legendary moments. The contrast between fighters who talk big but don't deliver and those who consistently step up when it matters most couldn't be clearer. While some fighters are calculating risks and looking for easy paths to success, the true champions understand that greatness is only achieved by consistently facing and overcoming the most difficult challenges available. This is exactly why Charles Oliveira's frustration with fighters who publicly call for fights but privately decline them is so justified. The sport needs more fighters who are willing to take risks and create the kinds of memorable moments that elevate combat sports to new heights, not fewer. When fighters consistently back down from challenges, they're not just hurting themselves, they're robbing fans of potentially incredible fights and limiting the growth potential of the entire sport. The success of events like UFC 229 and Canelo vs. Crawford shows what's possible when everyone involved is committed to delivering the highest level of competition and entertainment.